Hey Brick fans, welcome back to the Brick Bakery, where all our jokes are half baked. I'm Jacob and today it's time to continue work on a music store in my Lego city. In my last video, I attempted to build a first floor for a building that I've been working on for quite a while. Now, the result wasn't great. It wasn't bad as such, but it wasn't great either. And I actually got a lot of great suggestions from you folks out there, and I'm very, very thankful. However, I got so many great suggestions that I can't even begin to mention all of them, and I can't even begin to mention all of the great people who suggested them. But just to let you know, in general, I am very, very thankful for all of your suggestions and all your creativity. It's very, very inspiring, and I will probably be using some of all those suggestions in my work today. So let's head over to Bakersville and see what today's project is going to be all about. And this here is the top floor I built last time. I did get a lot of great suggestions on how to improve this. And one of them was actually to separate the top floor in two and continue the buildings vertically instead of horizontally. So you don't get one big upper floor, but two separate upper floors for each building that's underneath here. And that is actually the idea I think I will be going with for this revisit. However, in general, I do like this upper floor right here, so I will actually be keeping this upper floor, at least for a while. I may take it apart a little later, but for now I will be keeping it because I do have an idea of building a complete building with a bottom floor that matches this floor much better. But today it's all about the music store. So one of the suggestions I got was to continue this design up on the first floor, and I actually like that idea. Another suggestion I've gotten earlier is to turn these piano keys around because they are actually more or less the wrong way around. Usually it would be 2 and then 3 on the bottom instead of 3 and then 2 on the bottom. And I will be tending to that today as well. So that is the plan today. Continue this style up here and make it a little more coherent. One of the difficult parts of this build today is definitely going to be this corner right here. On this build, on this version of the first floor, I have tried to make it rounded with these bricks right here. Now, the thing is, I would love to continue the building in this red color down here, and I simply haven't got any of these in red. So continuing this style up here won't be possible if I want to use the red bricks for a rounded part like this because I simply don't have those pieces. I do have an idea to either make an indent here with a small balcony, or maybe just trying to build some of this part more square and using this rounded panel anyway, but we'll see how it all goes. So without further ado, let's head over to the build table and get started on this first floor. So first things first, I think I should correct these panels here as the first thing I do so I don't forget. I do have an idea of continuing these panels up here on the first floor as that might look good. But let's turn them around as was suggested and we'll get going from there. Here we go. This is the piano keys turned the other way around, and that means actually it will match this, even though this is probably technically the wrong way now, but at least it's symmetrical on both sides of the build, and I like that, and I prefer that over technicality. But I do like this look though. It looks nice, and it's nice that there's a little more distance between the upper key here and the notes up here, so that's just great. But now we get to the upper floor, and the first thing of course is to design the floor in itself. I've chosen to go with black plates this time because that matches the building a little better than the dark gray ones I'd chosen earlier. And this is a 14 by 14 building, so I need to make a 14 by 14 plate of the plates that I've got here. That is the bottom floor taken care of, and it might be a little hard to see because this is black, but you can see there's a 6 by 8 and a 6 by 6, a 2 by 6 and a 2 by 8, and then again a 6 by 8 and a 6 by 6, which makes a 14 by 14 plate. Now I've connected it all with a pattern like this, and what I'm going for when I do something like this are overlaps. I want different parts to be overlapping one another because that provides the biggest level or highest level of rigidity. So this is very rigid for it being assembled of 6 plates. So that's how this is going to look, and of course you have to make sure that these patterns underneath here matches if you have something like this going on down here. You want these patterns here to match so they don't interfere with this. Now luckily this is actually a little lower than these up here, so it's just an idea that you can use if you do have rooms inside your building like this and you're forced to use several plates to make one big plate. Maybe not raise the inner section walls up all the way, because then you can actually do patterns like this without it getting in the way. So that's just a little hint if you can use it. But the next step is definitely to continue this pattern from down here up on this floor up here. And remember that I want a small balcony thing on one corner to accommodate the guitar right here. So yeah, let's get on with this. So here we go. This gives us the general idea of an upper floor that actually continues the pattern from down here. Now you might be wondering why I am putting these not more centered, and that's because I do need to make room for this panel right here, and that takes up 3 studs like this. So to not cover up the window with a panel like this, I'm gonna have to do it with 3 studs like this. Other than that, I have put in a door here on the back, and that's because there was something who was wondering a bit about stairs and how to get up on this first floor, and I'm actually thinking I will be adding a stair right here on the outside, which will also be the way to get on the first floor for this building over here. But right now I'm just preparing for that by putting in this door right here. So there should be room for stairs on the outside, and I think we are on the right track with this. So yeah, moving on and trying to get in some walls to be able to put those panels in as well. This is the upper floor with a lot of the walls put in. The 2 most important walls right now are of course this one and this one, which has these studs not on top pieces. So I can put in this little panel right here, here and here. You may have noticed that this one isn't actually red, but that doesn't matter because this side of the build is going to be leaning against the wall next to it, the building next to it, and this is all going to be covered by this panel right over here. So actually I could do this not using red here at all, but just for my sense of consistency and for the look from inside, red is going to be the color I'm going to use right here, mostly if I can do it. But I don't have any more of these studs not on top bricks, in red. So I'm gonna have to use one of these light tan ones. It doesn't really matter because, as I said, it's not gonna be visible, not from the inside, not from the outside, and eventually not from the side as well. So that is gonna be all right. I'm gonna try to finish off the wall right here and put a layer of plates on top of the wall, and then we're gonna go on to making these panels, and we've got to think about what we have to put in here as well. I'll be wondering about that while I do all the other building. So I finished off the walls for this section, and it's of course looking a little plain right now. So I'll be adding these panels here and here that I've been talking about several times now. I just hope I have enough tiles for it, but we'll see. Maybe I'll do something with 1x2 plates instead if I don't. Other than that, I'm still wondering what I should put here. Maybe I'll end up not having something to put here, and maybe I'll end up asking you folks for suggestions. If you do have any kinds of suggestions, both for this area right here and in general, please go to my website www.brickbakery.fun, and I'd love to hear all your thoughts and ideas for builds like this. But on we goes making panels. So just to show you how I make these panels right here, you may already have noticed that they are actually an uneven number of studs wide. It's actually 9 studs wide, and that's because I have to put in these studs right here in an uneven way as well. So I get this 3 and 2 combination, and when you do something that is 3 times 9, you really got to work with overlaps, which is why I'm using some of these long tiles right here. This was actually also suggested by one of my viewers in the old panels, or the panels for the lower floor that I designed. I'd used more of these 1x2s, which means that they are a little less rigid. It doesn't really matter too much because they're just hanging on the side, but this one is pretty sturdy because it really holds it very well together when you have one that goes all over 8 of them and over 8 of them down here as well. But this is actually what it all needs to be right here. You got a jumper plate, a 1x1, a jumper plate, and a 1x1, and that'll end you up with a look like this. Just give me a second and I'll put these on. Don't worry about getting them too straight in the beginning because there is a neat trick to do that at the end. But here at first you see 2 and 3, which is the pattern we want. And to get them all straight, we just press them lightly down on the table like this. Make sure they're all tight after you've done this, and you'll have them very straight. Of course, if they are a little uneven still, you can do it manually maybe. So yeah, let's add this one over here like this, and we got the pattern in place. And actually we can already see now how this continues the pattern here and over here, which looks quite good, I think. So now all I need to do is figure out what to put here, and that is quite a conundrum. For now, I'm just putting in this little temporary fence right here for this little balcony. I could make one of these into a door instead of a window, but I don't know. Maybe I should do something more with a 3D sign that would match the guitar in some way, but I don't really have a good idea. I was thinking maybe a couple of drums sitting up here in some way, maybe framing the guitar in a way, or building a big note. I do like the idea of a big note, but I don't know if I have a good idea of how to put a big note together. Give me a second. Yeah, give me a second. Here we go. I have tried my hand at making a musical note. This one is white. It's a question of what bricks I actually have. I would love this one to have been black. However, I do think white fits well with the rest of the build, as white is a part of this and also a part of the rest of the build. How it looks together with the guitar is a completely other matter. It might look weird, but if it does, I won't be putting this on the top of the other building right now. I'll be building the roof first. But if it looks weird, please let me know in the comments on my website. That's www.brickbakery.fun, and I'd love to take your suggestions on how to improve this. Maybe build something completely different up here, but my idea is a giant musical note for now. But I think I'll be moving on to the roof, and then we can actually put this on top of the other building and see how it all looks together. Here we got the roof, and as you can see, this sort of continues the idea of the note paper, which I've actually also made here on this part of the build. So now we got a roof that matches the note idea in the middle of the build, and now it's also on top of the build, and now it's also on top of this floor, and I think this looks pretty good, to be honest. Now we just need to see how this looks on top of the other part. So here we go, putting on this first floor on the music store, and we'll see how it looks. Yeah, this isn't too bad. I do like the continuing piano thing. I do like that all the lines are continuing sort of vertically here. I don't know about this giant note. Maybe it looks better without the guitar. Maybe this is actually better than with the guitar. I'll let you folks ring in on this. What do you think looks the best? Is it the note alone, the guitar and the note, or should it just be the guitar like this? That is gonna be a thing I have to wonder about for sure. So I'd love to hear your folks' ideas, but what I really want to do now is take this over to the city and see how it looks over there. So here we go, building now arriving in the city after a revisiting of the second, or actually first floor. Yeah, I'll give you a better angle. So this is the building as it looks right now. I think it looks a lot more coherent when we got all these vertical lines lining up on both sides of this divide right here. I think definitely it's too much with both the guitar and the big note, but I actually don't know which one to choose. So should it be this one, just the guitar, or should we actually go with the note alone, something like this? I would of course have to do something here to just finish everything off, but in general, does this look better? Maybe it does. I'd love to hear you folks' opinion on www.brickbakery.fun, so you can give all your comments. For now, I'll leave this here, and yeah, I'd love to hear your ideas. So here's a closer look on the first floor itself. I do like these panels out here and the way that they continue from the bottom floor. I also like this indent here, and this roof is looking pretty good, I think. But you know, I could also go without the indent and just have an angle here, because I have discovered that this guitar is actually sticking out far enough so you can have something that is square here in this corner. I thought it was necessary to have something rounded, but as this clearly proves, there are plenty of room for something that's square. So maybe just continuing this wall out here and not having anything here would be the better solution. Again, I would love to hear your guys' suggestions for this on my website, www.brickbakery.fun. So a funny detail here is because I put in that door in the back, you can actually see all the way through the building. I'm trying to open the door here so you can actually see a little clearer that there is a trash can on the sidewalk at the bank right now, which I think that's kind of funny, and of course it gives you a little more sort of, shall we say, overlook of the entire city when something like this is possible. But anyway, that is about it for this building. I'll go back to me and say thank you for watching. So in the spirit of Lego, I have revised a building today. It's wonderful how easy it is to redo or modify or just rebuild something and make the changes you think are the right changes. I think it was a great idea to continue the building sort of vertically instead of horizontally. Someone suggested that to me, and I think that was a great idea, so thanks a lot. And generally, thanks a lot for your great suggestions for this build. There was a lot of them, and they were very, very creative and very, very good, so thanks a lot. And now I would like your suggestions for that sign, that 3D sign. Should it be just the big note? Should it be the guitar? Should it be the guitar and something else? Should I maybe remove the balcony and build just a square building on top? What do you think? Please let me know in the comments on my website www.brickbakery.fun, and I'd love to hear all your suggestions, both for the 3D sign and anything else you might have thought of. But until next time, this is the Brick Bakery and I'm Jacob.